Much of modern medicine is based on the centuries-old use of remedies found in nature. The word drug comes from droge, an old Dutch word meaning to dry. 25% of today's pharmaceutical drugs are of plant origin. The use of plants as medicines continues to flourish, crossing cultural and economic barriers. For many, traditional plant remedies have become accepted additions to the more mainstream forms of medicine. They provide people with natural cures for minor ailments, blending folk remedies into a modern world.
I'm going to make a cup of sedative tea with hops, lemon balm, lavender, and a little bit of mullein leaves. So I've chopped up a teaspoon of mullein leaf, and I'm going to add some hops leaf, which is used in making beer also. It's an excellent sedative. Should not be used in cases of severe depression, but is excellent for those evenings when you just feel like you want to relax after a hard day's work. And this is lemon balm leaves. I'm going to put a teaspoon of this in the bowl, and lavender flowers, which also has a great smell. So I'm going to mix these up and just pound it a little bit. And what that does is release the volatile oils, and you'll receive more of the medicinal properties of the herbs. The water has been brought to a boil and then turned off, and I usually let it sit for about 30 seconds or so to let it calm down so that the medicinal properties are not destroyed when you're making your tea. Now I'm just going to add the herbs to the water, cover it, and let it sit for about 3 minutes. And then when it's ready, you pour it, and you have a nice cup of sedative tea.
For the most part, our culture views herbal medicines as a curiosity, merely a supplement to the doctor's care. There is, however, a large population that relies almost exclusively on traditional medicine. Within this world are healers with various levels of knowledge and status. Doña Leva is 60 years old and lives in San Diego, a small town in South Texas. She represents the most common level of traditional practitioners, that of neighborhood or barrio healer, with an extensive knowledge of plants and herbs.
This is hierba de cáncer. And you use this
That's
for
good
what?
for cancer. When you got sores in your stomach, this is good.
And how do you do it?
Boil it
Make a
and
tea?
drink it.
And then tea, and what else do you put in the tea? Just this? Does it have a sour taste to it?
No, it didn't taste nothing. It tastes like water.
Mrs. Dilly lives in Hebronville, 43 miles southwest of Doña Leva in San Diego. She has a regional reputation as a healer and attributes much of her ability to a gift from God.
Estudié los estudios más hermosos que pueda haber en la vida, y es la antigua mística Orden Rosacruz. Estudié la parapsicología, la biología mística. Puedo decir que en ella yo recibí todo lo que puede un ser viviente tener en su vida. ¿Verdad? ¿Qué es lo que hacemos? Lo damos. Y de allí vienen las plantas que se van siendo ellas a seres vivientes como nosotros. Por eso los árboles no deben de cortarse, porque de todos vivimos.
Creo que debemos de cuidar todo lo que sea de hierbas, cosas sobrenaturales, como los árboles también tienen sus cosas favorables, porque nos ayudan a nosotros en muchas cosas.
La Señora Maria Tamayo is a curandera who lives and works in Brownsville. As a curandera, she not only is responsible for healing physical ailments, but is also called upon concerning matters of brujeria, or witchcraft. She lives a poor and humble existence, gaining few economic benefits from her services. Regarded by her followers as a medium who channels the spirit of the Mexican folk saint, the Niño Fidencio, she heals while in a trance state.
Well, the most common herbs that, we usually use, now that, I'm personally telling you, because when I go in my trance, it's the niño that gives the medicines about the herbs. Pero uno debe de saber más o menos, tiene que saber uno qué es lo que la persona trae, porque no todas las personas contienen la misma enfermedad. Entonces, ciertas hierbas son para ciertas cosas y ciertas no.
Our own research project here, it's a 4-year project funded by the National Institutes of Health, is focused on trying to understand to what extent Mexican Americans rely on the various medical systems, including folk medicine.
As part of this project, graduate students Sandra Sanchez Sanders and Maria Elena Rodriguez have been working extensively in South Texas. They are conducting a survey to quantify the extent to which traditional medicine is being used within the Mexican American population, and what plants and herbs are being used.
The traditional medical system has persisted quite strongly, as a matter of fact, because a lot of them do try to use household remedies along with plants and herbs to cure minor as well as major illnesses before they see a doctor. Although a lot of them do say that they see a doctor and they consult a doctor right away, when you get to the second part of the survey, you find that they are using a lot of these herbs right along with it, right along with visiting the doctor.
Yeah, I'm sure it works. These people, you see them and they're testifying to you. And that's what another good thing about our research is that it's not in an office. You're out there with people. You're learning with them. The information they're giving you, you're learning, and it can be passed on to others.
Margarita Tagle Greenlees began observing midwives, or pateras, in the Brownsville area in 1990. To date, she has located 154 practices.
Everybody uses herbs one type or another. Manzanilla for the stomach, comino to induce or reduce labor. We have some parteras that have been practicing for the last 50 years, and they've delivered thousands and thousands of babies, maybe had one death. Deaths occur even in the hospitals. They're very relaxing, very comfortable. They speak the language. They know the culture. They know the foods. They have the medicina tradicional that their mothers have. And a lot of them come in. They say, my mother gave me manzanilla, or my mother gave me cominos. So she'll say, well, mijita, don't do this and don't do that. So they're very comfortable with her.
Entonces tu cita ahorita ya va a ser más seguido. Sí, por favor.
Papa Jim's in San Antonio. People come here in search of a cure for their illnesses, their wounds, their broken hearts. Papa Jim sees his role as providing them with answers in a way they can afford and understand.
And what I do is I come to the floor if a person has a health problem and they know what's wrong with them, then I guide them to the herb books or guide them to their choice of what they should take for that particular illness, and also give them dietary advice so that they know how to not only use the herbs to cure their problem, but also how not to have that problem in the future. And then we get people that think that they're cursed from somebody else, and then we go to the candles and the powders to take that off of them. And then some people at the same time while they're sick will think that they want to pray to a saint, so we give them the proper saint for the proper illness, and it all ties together.
Today, the use of medicinal plants is flourishing. Traditional methods of healing continue, even in a world of modern medicine. Perhaps we should look more closely at what is growing in our own backyard.